Shout out to the Indian givers. Shout out to the people that know, to the black people that know they ain't get stole from Africa and trying their best to get back to a place that they ain't been. Just shout out to y'all, you know what I mean? The people that know who they are. If you're not a black person, just ask a black person, what kind of Indian are you mixed with? And watch. Every one of them will tell you, oh, I'm mixed with this, I'm mixed with this. Never to think that they are the Indian. It's weird. Another thing, black people, man, you remember how our grandparents and stuff used to have them remedies, them homemade remedies. You know, we didn't have to go to no stores back then. Just think about it. We used the land how it was supposed to be used. You feel me? Do y'all remember the blankets that we used to pass down generation to generation? Where'd those go? Shout out to Chief Warhorse. Chief Warhorse know who she is. She had a story that went, her great grandparents went to sleep in Florida and woke up in New Orleans. They didn't physically get moved, but the people, they shifted the lines and named stuff what they wanted to name it, you know. All these different states. Back on the old maps, you could see Florida actually was from all the way down bottom, all the way up to the East Coast. Man, those some dark Indians right there. You ever thought about this? That the say nothings, the know nothings, the people that pretend to be the Indians, the pretendians, these people, they get the casinos and all these type of things, right? They earn like $7,000 a month just for pretending. Think about this. Why don't those Indians ever have beards? I ain't never seen them with beards. You rarely see those people with any kind of facial hairs. I don't know. I just find that to be funny. You know what I'm saying? But the Israelites are supposed to have beards and stuff, right? But in this picture, you see Tamari Khan, and he's pointing to it with his arrow in his hand. As you can see, these pictures speak subliminally a lot. And then his fingers pointing down to Florida. And then you can also see, you know, Fernand and Isabella, them, you know, the ones that came to conquer everything for the most part. All right, so I asked, why did the U.S. go to war with the Seminoles? The First Seminole War, 1817 through 18, began over attempts by the U.S. authorities to recapture runaway black slaves living amongst Seminole bands. All right, so we know that it was black Europeans, black French, black Irish, black everything that was coming in. German, all this stuff. Like in the movie Django, they show you his wife was German, but they had to make it like her slave owner taught her that. No, it was we was coming from all over too. That what you have to pay attention to. But in order for a black slave to break away and go hide amongst Indians, wouldn't he have to look like them a little bit? Wouldn't you have to favor these people? How else could you hide amongst somebody if you don't look like them? Just think about it. Under General Andrew Jackson, U.S. military forces invaded the area, scattered the villagers, burnt down their town, seized Spanish-held Pensacola and St. Mark. I don't know what that is, but they went off basically. They got the people up out of there, right? Now all this in the 1800s, right? So how many Seminoles died on the Trail of Tears? According to estimate based on tribal and military records, approximately 100,000 indigenous people were forced from their homes during the Trail of Tears, and some 15,000 died during the relocation. All right, this is the Trail of Tears, right? So what happened to the Seminoles after the Trail of Tears? U.S. pressure to remove the tribe continued. They still was trying to push them out of there. They couldn't stop trying to get them out of Florida because, you know, that's a real nice area, leading to another war in the late 1850s. After that, the governor paid the Seminoles to relocate, and hundreds did. But many others hunkered down in the swamps and marshes because they pushed everybody off of the good land into the swamps and marshes. That's the first way they got you before they tried to get you completely out of there. Oh, yeah, they ended up getting the swamps and marshes for the most part. But they refused to leave Florida. Some descendants still live there. I bet. I bet. And I bet they look like me. Now watch the trickery. How much does a Seminole get each month? Because, they all get paid. Everybody get paid but the black people in America. All the fake stuff, the Holocaust, everything, all these fakers, they get paid to know nothing because they are the know nothings. Each member of a Seminole family, a Seminole tribe of Florida, even children now receive a monthly dividend check of $7,000 or $84,000 annually. How many of y'all getting that check down there in Florida, which still called Florida anyway? I ain't talking about the fact that Florida extended past with the line shows up here to North Carolina. Yeah, but ain't none of us getting no money from no casinos. Who owns the casinos? The know-nothings. Speaking of North Carolina, North and South Carolina was named after King Charles. King Charles the First. All right. Then I asked, what does Carolina mean in Latin? Carolina is a feminine given name in Spanish, English, Italian, Portuguese, Catalan, and Swedish, derived from the masculine name Corylus, which is Latin for Charles, meaning free man or freeholder. Then you got to ask yourself, what is a freeholder? Property law, a person in possession of a freehold building or estate in land. So this is them stealing your shit real time right here. You know what I'm saying? When they coming up with all this shit back then. What is a freeholder? Oh, the board of commissioners, basically your government. These people came over and became your government. To the point they told you you ain't who you said you was. They told you, nah, you just black now. Nah, we gonna just ignore all your treaties. Okay, y'all remember the Black Wall Street? I know y'all remember the other one, but the original Wall Street was Durham, North Carolina, the hub of African American business and financial services. Matter of fact, people was doing so good at this Black Wall Street, they built the whole freeway through there, and then they redlined everybody off to where white people had to stay here, black people had to stay there. That's how they broke down the Durham establishments. Everybody around North Carolina area that's black, if you ask them, they're gonna say they Cherokee. They're gonna always go to Cherokee. In 1838 and 1839, as part of Andrew Jackson's Indian removal policy, the Cherokee Nation was forced to give up lands east of the Mississippi River and migrate to an area present-day Oklahoma. Now think about this. The Trail of Tears led them to Oklahoma. What happened in Oklahoma that was significant to the Black Wall Street? Oh, this Tulsa Race Massacre. So you remember I was just explaining to you, and this explained to you too. Where did the Indians go on the Trail of Tears? Oklahoma. All right, so when they got there, what happened? They established themselves. They started doing well. The Tulsa Race Massacre, also known as the Tulsa Race Riot of the Black Wall Street Massacre. So this is the second Black Wall Street. Was a 2-day long massacre that took place between May 31st, June 1st. When everybody basically went there, and even the government dropped bombs on these people because they were still doing good. Even after relocating. Even after relocation, these people still went out there and blew up until the people came and blew them up. And then you question yourself, the ones that stayed back that didn't go over to Oklahoma, what did they have to do to not have to go on the Trail of Tears? Probably just take religion. That's why if you in this thing called the Bible Belt, you're going to be very religious. You're going to have preachers all throughout your family, churches all over every black street you on. Go down any black street. I challenge you. Go down any black street and count a number of churches that you'll find. Count those churches and you're going to be shocked. But the Bible Belt, that's why they got to stay. Because they took on religion. They became docile. They turned the other cheek. They said, all right, we don't want no more. So don't never forget who you is. Don't let them tell you that you was just living in the jungle. Oh no. I got plenty of proof it wasn't no jungle that you was just living in. Man, it was so many buildings. America is Egypt. It is Egypt. It's more than just Egypt. America is the Bible. But people don't want to recognize it. There was a Jerusalem in Virginia on the old map back in the day. There was a Jerusalem in St. Louis in the 1904 State Fair book. So it raises a lot of questions. Sphinxes in Colorado. These places where they put the national parks, you got to be careful because that's where they hide and stuff. That's where they hide your stuff from you. And they won't let you see it. They'll send it over to Africa and tell you that it came from over there somewhere. And then they'll put it on display. It was a guy that tried to get out of the Grand Canyon with an artifact not too long ago. And they got him before he can get back to Europe. And they said that he was trying to steal something. And basically diverted the story saying it came from over there in Africa and Egypt. But you know, he took it from America. So you tell me what's what? Egypt is bondage. In America, man, it was so many idols that these people was worshiping. Us, the reason that we fucked right now, because we still idol worship. We still do it. Most of y'all every single Sunday for the sun day. So that's what y'all do. I mean, you know, so we just got to be careful and come back to one and know it's only one. It don't take three to create. You can't take three and make one thing, man. Like how do you do that, man? You take three entities to make one entity. That doesn't make sense. It's the creator only, man. Let's get back.